Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Renovation and Outdoor Living Show. This is our 18th episode. It is Friday, the 5th of June, Friday. Yes, end of the week. Now, on Tuesday, it was all about luxury. We talked to a refresh renovation specialist in the UK. It was our first chat across the globe. Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you tuning in so early. Oh, by the way, if anyone else wants to say hello, just chuck your comments down in the live comments column there. So we talked to a refresh renovation specialist in the UK. That was in an affluent area of the UK in Surrey, on the outskirts, just southwest of London. And she was saying, we were talking about what sort of projects they're doing and what is the definition of luxury. It's probably very similar to ours. She talked a lot about roll-top baths. They're in. Bigger spaces are in. Porcelain tiles in place of marble. Everyone wants marble, but of course it's a bit expensive. And the thing which I had no idea about, bidets are back in fashion. So after spending, I don't know, 40 years ripping them all out, apparently people are now putting them back in. We then spoke to Nicola Vague, who is a landscape architect, and she's Zone's franchise owner in Tauranga. And she was talking to us about the tricks of bringing luxury to your outdoor space, but on a bit of a budget. And the key, well, first of all, plan, and plan, so you don't have to spend the money twice. And also making a feature. This was such a good idea. Make a feature out of one specific area of your outdoor space, be it one little courtyard, be it the porchway, but one place everyone will focus and it will have that wow factor. And then we also gave away $250 worth of Mitre 10 vouchers. So congratulations to Pete Hollins. I hope that you've been in touch with the team to be able to pick those up. You had to tell us what your next renovation project was, and it was insulation. So I imagine $250 will go quite a long way to buying a few rolls of pink bats for you. Take the sting out of the operation a wee bit. Thelma, hello, nice to see you. Tuesday's show was an amazing show, probably the best so far. Good on you. But I'm not going to give away any Pink Bats vouchers today. So anyone who's got any questions, if you want to say anything or comments or suggestions, please feel free to post them while we talk to our guests. Hi, Eddie. Nice to see you again. I can put your questions to them, or we can get an expert to get in touch with you as well. So to today's theme, a beginner's guide to kitchens. Okay, it's got to be one of the biggest areas of renovation, if not the biggest, bathrooms and then kitchens. So if you've never put a kitchen in, this is talking about if you've never done it before, where do you start? What is the process? Now, Dwayne Old is from Mitre 10 Mega in Palmerston North. Now, he's been with the company there for 5 years. Before that, of course, natural fit went from the army. He was 19 years in the army, but there is a reason why there is a natural fit. Dwayne's also a qualified builder, so he knows what he's talking about. And Dwayne, good to see you. I hope we can pick you. Now, of course, Dwayne, you're not allowed. You're at work, aren't you?
Yeah, I am in the display here in our kitchen department.
See, now we just widened the shot a bit, which gave it away a wee bit. Initially, it just looked like you were in a nice kitchen and you put the flowers in the corner. Now, Dwayne, let me get it right. You work mainly with trade customers?
Correct, yes. I have a lot to do with our refresh team here in Manawatu, so a lot to do with kitchens as well. So.
And that's good, because we're going to talk to the refresh team very shortly from Manawatu about this. So from your side of the fence as such, a project manager, let's say, refresh comes to you, Wayne, who runs refresh, she comes to you, maybe with his clients. Where do you actually start, though?
Basically, we just sit down and we need to get to know the client. So we need to get to know the customer, what they like, what they're about. Do they entertain? Are they foodies? What styles they like, and we walk them through the showrooms. We show them the different styles, the different options they've got, get them inspired about they're doing their kitchen, because it is a big investment for them. And then based off that brief, we come up with a design brief for them. So
it's quite interesting, isn't it? Because I imagine that, let's say someone comes into the store and they think we want to do our kitchen, we want to make it nice because it's falling apart, or we want to the capital gain or whatever it is. I wonder how little they actually think about how they actually use the space, and that's obviously what you're doing in that situation.
That's it. It's called the heart of the home for a reason. Do you use it for entertaining? Do you sit down with the kids at the end of the day? What do you want to do with that space?
Yeah. Are you big into cooking, or do you just want a microwave in the corner?
Yeah.
Hey, so you get your design sort of consultation through, and then what? They go away, and you turn that into something more.
Based off, we work into the plans from there. So whether they've got a plan in their mind, or they've got a physical plan, we go and do a site measure with them. We want to create a design that encapsulates, that brief and the customer's vision for that space. From there, we can then, move on to the next stage, which is working into getting the 3D designs done, as you can see here. moving through into the final pricing as well.
So you actually go on site. I was going to say, because it's all very well and good doing all this in the store, but unless you actually go out and realize that actually what they've asked for isn't going to work, or you probably make more suggestions while you're out there. And then they go shopping, I guess.
Pretty much, yeah. So they need to pick, their fittings, their tapware, their sinks, all of the options that they've got. They come in store, have a look what's available, talk to the team in store, and they'll make suggestions to, what best suits them as a customer.
Yeah, awesome. So how accurate are the pricings from, obviously you bring out the plan. I mean, I imagine the fact you're doing it, you're pretty close to because you know what the various bits are going to cost, but how accurate are the pricings from the plan to the actual end product most of the time?
Well, it's going to be dependent on the customer and then them locking in their budget. I mean, if you want to work to your budget, work to your budget. You've got so many different options available when it comes to the different design styles, the different finishing styles. It's setting that budget at the beginning, and if you want to move on it, you move on it. And if you don't, we've got an option available for you.
Yeah, it comes back to that thing I mentioned at the beginning about the outdoor space as well. Plan, and that's going to save you a hell of a lot of money in the long run. So at that stage, so they've chosen everything in the shop. They've got their plan. They've probably got Wayne or one of the teams set up to install or to put it in. And then what? They disappear with the packing? Or, I mean, how does it? Do you see it through?
Yeah, so basically, once you've got your quote confirmed and you've all ordered everything and you're ready to go, it's a matter of utilising either, our preferred installer for our store is Refresh Renovations Man or two, or if you've got your own installer, we'll then get it all sorted out. We'll get it delivered to site for you, and then you're into the install and creating that space that that dream space that you're after.
How often does a customer get it wrong? How often do they come back to you and say, "Oh, I know we spent 12 hours of your life talking about this, but we just don't like it"?
There's no such thing as getting it wrong. I mean, everyone can change their mind or make tweaks or make changes as you go. There's no such thing as getting it wrong. So
you should be standing for politics in Palmerston North. That was a great answer. Hey, Dwayne, before I lose you, what are your key messages to customers from a supply perspective?
I guess so. For the kitchen range, it's in quality New Zealand made product. We've got a massive wide range of products here. Our soft closed doors are standard. The the design process is all free. That's a free service. 10 to 15 year guarantee. Everyone likes a guarantee on what they've got. We've got 43 showrooms nationwide at the different Mitre 10s. To get in, and if you're not working through an installer and want to get in, you can book through the website. Go jump onto the website, book to come in and see one of our kitchen consultants in store. Flexible finance options are available there as well. So
you're going to make it happen regardless. Hey, Dwayne, thank you so much for that. That's awesome. Really good to see you. And that is so. If you fancy getting a bit of knowledge, then Dwayne's in store at the moment. If you're in Manawatu, if you're in Palmerston North, pop down, say good day to Dwayne. You'll find him. He's just tending to the flowers in the kitchen showroom area. That is Dwayne Old there from Mitre 10 Mega in Palmerston North. Good to see you. Now, for those of you who find that it's more trouble than it's worth, you don't have the confidence to oversee the design and build process, then, as we've just discussed, Dwayne then refers you to someone, and in this case, he uses the Refresh franchise in Manawatu, and then they come along and they can do it for you. Now, the guy who runs that particular show is Wayne Gordon, who is the boss at Refresh, and he's been doing this for about 8 years or so now. This is the magic of Facebook Live television, Wayne, because, hey, that's weird. You seem to be almost... I might just rewind this tape and so Wayne's obviously, because you obviously work very closely with Dwayne, as he was just saying.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, Rawdon. So Dwayne's actually been our trade rep for a while now, and so everything that we're planning and organising through Mitre 10, our trade links are very close link to that. So kitchen designers, trade reps, it is a very good team and a very close knit team. We enjoy the environment.
That must help so much when you're to have that relationship over years. You can work so easily together. You've been running a Refresh team for 8 years. How many projects all up do you reckon you've done in that time?
Our total number of projects is over 300, and really kitchens would be 85% of the work we're doing there. So kitchens and bathrooms are always pretty high on the renovation priority list. But we find kitchens are really an angle there, which people I guess they're difficult areas in that they get a lot of wear and tear. They're wet areas essentially, so they are areas that, you know, every now and again people just say, look, I've had enough of this kitchen, I just need to get in and get it sorted out. So a fairly popular renovation.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Tommy, so how does the process work? Do you go in with your clients to meet up with Dwayne, or have you already, or do you do the initial sort of design part of it at their home?
Well, very often we'll actually, it kind of depends really. If a client comes to us as a refresh client, then we'll go out and meet with them, and we'll actually talk to them about what they want to achieve with their kitchen renovation. And usually our next stop will be Mitre 10. So the other side of that coin, how the Mitre 10 relationship works, is when they have clients that come in looking for a kitchen and they need someone that can help them sort out all of the electrical things, the building work, plumbing, all of those kind of things, then that's where we can step into our specialised area. And so through that, you know, whether the person approaches Mitre 10 directly or whether they approach Refresh directly, we've got a really good process for dealing with those situations. So yeah, we go through the design process from there.
Yeah, I hope you're not going to get run over by a forklift truck or something beeping away in the background, or unless it's somebody, I don't know, unplugging a security device to steal a cabinetry from under you. So how often does a client want something that you just don't see working, or that you know is just going to cost them far more than they actually have ideally set out to spend? Does that happen often at the early stage?
It can do, and we do encourage people, look, go for your wish list first, and then there's always room to scale it back if we need to meet your budget. So really we will encourage people to sort of give us their indicative pricing if they can, and then, you know, specify what their needs are, their must and their wants, and then basically we start working towards tailoring the budget from there.
And is this what you talk about with this concept and feasibility part of the process? Because this is a really important part of what you do and what Refresh does, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. So I think that sets us aside from a lot of other companies, in that when we do concept and feasibility, it encompasses the design process to start with. So what we're looking to do there is come up with a design, a layout, and then basically we can fill in all the gaps, join the dots with regards to the construction requirements, the finishings, all of those kind of things. So really, if a client doesn't have a lot of knowledge about how the process works, and I mean, you know, kitchen renovations can have, you know, up to 9 sub-trades working on them, and sometimes you're dealing with 3 or 4 different appliance merchants and people like that. So it is quite a daunting process for a lot of people. So concept and feasibility allows us to explore all of those options. We can price different options through that stage. So it's as much about getting the pricing and the specification right as it is getting the design right for the client.
Right, and let's talk about pricing, because kitchens are notoriously more expensive to renovate than anywhere else in the house. So I guess this is I don't know, it's almost like a sort of an insurance, not an insurance, but an assurance, isn't it? If you can do this really thoroughly.
Absolutely. And what we try to avoid at all costs is those fish hooks that jump out during a renovation, where you need to, you need to put more money into your budget for this or for that, or something that was unexpected. We try and work through all of the unexpected issues so that really we've dealt with them prior. We incorporate site visits where trade specialists are actually checking through all of the detail. And really it's about giving people pricing options so that they can make decisions about what level of appliances they want, what level of bench tops, all of those kind of things. So sometimes, as you mentioned before, it's actually a case of giving them a number of options and then letting them pick what not only suits their desires, but also where it fits within their budget. So it's absolutely essential to do the concept and feasibility, we feel.
Yeah, and I think that's probably, and you talked about how that may sets yourself apart from other sort of project management and renovations companies. And it was quite interesting that graph we were just looking at just now, which we might try and bring back up onto the screen. That graph was a survey which Refresh did to try and get an idea of you know, look at that 30% unexpected. It's not the cost. The general price worries people. 13% of people, that's their biggest fear, the general price. 30% is the unexpected costs, which is why, of course, that makes so much sense. Fascinating, that, isn't it? Do you risk over-capitalizing when you're renovating a kitchen?
No, I think, market research has shown as well that kitchens and bathrooms, they are really areas that sell a home. So if you're looking to sell, you can get a great investment out of a kitchen or a bathroom renovation. There is a slide there showing what Westpac had put out on their website, whereas their sort of rationale towards kitchen and bathroom renovations is that for every dollar you spend, you should get really $1.50 back on your investment. So, so they're great areas to renovate, sort of push the boat out a little bit, and you can be pretty guaranteed that you'll get whatever you spend back and a little bit more. So a great area to invest in.
Is there an earthquake going on in Manawatu at the moment? Because there's a lot of noise in the background where you are. I think they're obviously. Is it quite busy? I mean, I'm quite interested to know.
Busy store. We've seen actually coming out of the lockdown, we were sort of talking about it before, and it really has been a buzz of people coming into these stores and picking up bits and pieces and getting on with building projects. So really quite positive. Yeah.
Yeah, I think people were doing an awful lot of planning over those weeks away, and that's fair enough. So I was interested to know about when you've got so much to consider with a client, where do you actually start? What's the very first thing you do?
Well, I think the first thing is, people will have an idea that they don't like their kitchen or it's not working for them. But sometimes even in their own minds, they haven't actually identified what it is that they don't like or do like, or what their expectations are of new kitchens. So really to sit down and talk with people is pretty invaluable. It gives us a chance to know what is going to please them, what's going to work for them. I think, as Dwayne said, is it a foodie's kitchen or is it a practical family kitchen? So there are a lot of things like that really we can define at that early stage, and it really helps with the design process and specifying the right products for them.
Yeah, it's all good advice, isn't it? You've got to know what you want before you start, I guess. Thank you so much indeed, Wayne. Really good to have a chat with you and to get a little bit of time out of the mighty Manawatu down the line. That is Wayne Gordon there from Refresh in Manawatu, live from Palmerston North, the mighty Mega 10 in Palmy. Good to see you, Wayne. We'll have another chat later in the series.
Thank you, Rawdon.
No, really good to have a chat. We've had a few good comments here. Hey, Luke. Hi from Sydney. Good to see you, mate. Nice to see you. I hope you're. And Eddie's watching again. I think we had somebody else. Sarah wanted the $250. We'll put another comp together very shortly. We'll try and do one next year. Now, Eddie made the comment. Wow, warranty guarantee 10 to 15 years. Is that right? Well, I didn't know that, but yeah, isn't that incredible? And then Eddie also adds, exactly, kitchens and bathrooms are what the homes being sold have always been the key driver. I don't really know from experience, but I imagine that I couldn't agree with you more. Now, if you want to know more about renovating your kitchen or any area of the house and the garden, you can leave your comment here. We can get in touch with you. We've got a couple of contacts for you to go to. We'll put a screen up at the end. Just a wee thought about the weekend as we go into it. And if you're here in New Zealand, you know what I'm talking about, this little COVID-free corner of the world. A word for our friends in the US, though, where more chaos has ensued to plunge the country into another crisis. We got more than 100,000 Americans have died from the coronavirus. More than 40 million have lost their jobs since the pandemic upended the economy there. The biggest story of them all, though, the protests that have erupted over the senseless death of George Floyd, who, as everyone will know by now, the black man who was killed by a white police officer, and then the lunacy of the president's response to that. There is, however, a slither of good news from the US. If you're a Tiger King fan, Joe Exotic's zoo has been saved. Despite the fact he's serving 22 years in prison, the zoo has a new owner. It's a woman by the name of Carol Baskin. She's been awarded ownership by a federal court judge. Now, if you're a Tiger King fan, you'll be gasping for air on this news. If you're not a Tiger King fan, you'll have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. Check it out on Netflix if you really want to just sort of chew up several hours of your life. And it certainly wouldn't be anything new if you didn't know what I was talking about. Have a great weekend and hopefully see you Tuesday. Bye-bye.